Is your boss truly capable, or did they rise to the top using dirty tactics? Today, I want to share with you a story about one of my former female supervisors. She was the worst supervisor I have ever encountered in my life. She had no idea what we were doing at work. Every time she had meetings with upper management, she had to bring several of us subordinates along. Imagine, inside the meeting room, senior executives sat around the table, and we, the subordinates, had to pull up chairs and sit behind the female supervisor. When the executives asked questions, she couldn't answer, so we subordinates had to respond directly. Veteran staff told me that she used to be a secretary in the company. In big corporations, it's common to have massive layoffs when business is bad, and the rule is similar to emperors and concubines. If the big boss gets fired, the secretary must go too, but she would go beg male executives from other departments. How did she beg them? No one knows once the door is closed. Anyway, after several rounds of layoff, she still remained. Eventually, during another layoff, she again went around begging male executives, and a certain male executive specifically requested that she be transferred to my department. My department already had a female supervisor. Let's call her the capable big sister. She was unhappy, but couldn't do anything. When the big rock falls, the crab dies. She had no choice but to take her in and assign her meaningless tasks. She didn't give her much work. Everyone in the department, including me, was hired by the capable big sister, and we were all very capable, so we didn't get along well. With this secretary lady, since she barely had any work, no one interacted with her. We treated her like air. But good times didn't last. The capable big sister later developed depression and was frequently absent. The secretary lady repeated her old tricks, constantly asking male executives out for meals and telling them, "Aya, I'm under so much pressure. She's always absent, and I have to cover for everything." Eventually, the capable big sister was fired by the company, and the secretary lady was officially promoted after she rose to power. We could no longer treat her like air. We were forced to hand things over to her, and she had a terrible personality. She loved throwing her weight around. Even though she didn't understand our work, she insisted on finding faults. So what faults did she look for? She would say the font was too big or too small. Certain text should be bold, and certain text should be underlined. The border was too thick and needed to be thinner. When you have worked overtime, spent so much time, and finally completed something with great effort, and she ignores your content, only criticizes the formatting, you would be furious. I have a straightforward personality, and I've always spoken directly, so I had many conflicts with her. Eventually, the company had another layoff, and she immediately submitted my name. But at that time, I was already running an online store, and I already had some knowledge about trading stocks and day trading. So, after I was fired, I didn't rush to find a job. Instead, I thought I might as well take the chance while I was young to go on a working holiday. What no one could have predicted was, after the working holiday, the leading company in the industry hired me. The salary was more than double my previous job, and I even got a manager title. Since I'm talking about her today, let me also mention one more thing. Back then, in our department, there were 3 of us girls who were not yet married, and the secretary lady was very proud of being married. She often intentionally or unintentionally mocked us for being unmarried. For example, she would say, "When do you plan to get married? You're at the right age. Do you have any plans? How are you planning your life? Do you plan to have children?" What I really wanted to say was, so what if you're married, can your husband support you? Do you not need to work anymore? If in your whole life, your only weapon is your looks, and your only goal is getting married, then if people call you trash, you brought it on yourself. It's not that I can't find men, I just don't need to rely on one. If you could stop using dirty tactics, stop playing petty tricks, and use your time to genuinely improve yourself, maybe today, you could be like me, already retired and not needing to work. Big corporations have many dirty yet interesting stories. If you want to hear more, leave me a comment, I'll share more next time.